right, so we're continuing our video on 3D. Essentially, what I'm doing is just finishing up this render, kind of taking a look at it, seeing what I could do, how I could get it to look a little more realistic. The one thing I did notice is that there's like a plane here that will cut off here. So what I would do is I would go to my 3D view. Just grab this, and then I'm going to copy it, right? Just simply copy it over. Oops. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let me see this here. There we go, bam. And it's just for the extra clipping pane. It's just for photoshopping. You don't have to do that, but for me, it's easier for me to do stuff like that. I like setting it up, because we're artists, man. This is how you work. Got to pay attention to detail. Copy this. I want this tree to be over here as well. Perfect. Okay. So now we got a little bit more of an interesting view. Okay. Go ahead and click this roof plane here. Go to the type. Go to the edit. Go to the category materiality. And then I'm going to also choose an interesting roof plane. Let's see. Asphalt shingles. Nope. Membrane. No way. Standing seam. Maybe. Fantastic. I'm into that for right now. Bam. Apply. We're good. Voila. Okay. So, as I said before, you can go to your render engine here, and I'm going to take a look. Hold on. I want to turn on my shadows. Okay. Put on my sun path. Save my project. And now I could see my render graphics. Cast my shadow. Okay, bam, just double checking everything. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick little draft view of this rendering here. And I'm going to just simply say, all right, you know what, I want to do screen resolution, and do the exterior sun only. And my background, I actually want to use the Mentor Ray's automatic background, because it gives you ambient blue reflectivity in your view. Okay, so that would be your middle tones. So right here on image adjust exposure, if you want the blue to be more reflected into your shadows, you want to bump this up or down. Okay, the warmer your tones, the more yellow. The colder your tones, the more blue. I recommend and I prefer more blues because it's more real and realistic. So play with that. But Revit and 3D Max and Autodesk actually have really good presets. So I would practice with the presets first and then go with them later. So what I'm going to do now is simply press a quick little render. It's going to analyze my my scene. Do a quick little render. So again, draft mode, number 1, number 2, your resolution, and then number 3, your shadow and your materiality all take play and what's going on. So say for instance, I left and was like, oh, I'm going to have an amazing rendering when I get back, and I look and I come and I look at this. I'm like, oh my God, what happened here, right? And it's because this thing didn't stretch properly, um, and I think I'm going to make this brick, and I'm going to change this material here. And I don't like how this here is blue in the background. So that's the things that I'm checking for right now. Okay, so instead of doing a final rendering that takes me 12 hours, I just do a quick draft rendering, and I go into my 3D view, and I'm just going to simply go here, and then this is just for that rendering. I'm just going to change the wall type. Okay, and then like, don't use the paint tool for workarounds. Like, you could just like paint whatever you want on anything, but it gets sloppy after a while. Like, I would actually grab this here, edit the type, or say for instance, yeah, I would grab this here, edit the type, duplicate it, new wall, 2. It's just better practice. It renders the same, but what I'm saying is, like, because what I want to do right now, I want to put a brick material to that wall, but instead of using the paint tool, which would be easy just to paint that surface, it's better practice to do it on the wall type, because the sections and all the graphics will all come along. And if you want to just do like a 2D view, like a hidden line or whatever, it comes out better, and it's just better practice. But if for quickness, like, I was going to be a bad kid and just use the paint tool, because I don't really care about the end result, because I'm just showing you guys for an example. So I just did the new wall. I'm going to click the structure, click the materiality, and then I'm just going to do some kind of cool brick, or maybe I want like a decking, maybe some kind of wood. You guys know where the teak's used? Anybody? Hmm? Where did you graduate, Keith? Where was the ceremony? Yeah. Who's the architect? Does anybody know? There you go. Bam. So anyway, let's see. I actually like this one here. Glass block. No, that's not what I want. There we go. That's what I want. Press OK. Press apply. Boom. There we go. Now we're talking. And then, of course, I want to put a window here. I don't know why there's not one there, but Revit makes it that easy for me to do that. And I am also going to go to Modify, go to Match Properties, click this. Now this is not a workaround. That's a legit tool to use, because it actually changes the properties of your material. So now I got that end piece, I got that material piece. I think that this tree here is not worth the rendering time, so I'm going to delete it because it's way too close. I am also going to delete. If I delete this, will it mess? No, it won't. So essentially, it's going to cantilever over, and I would like to have a column. So if I start it, Keto, I want to put a couple of beams. Let's see if the street is there. I want to do them here. like, of course, I would do all of this in, where'd they go, Keith? Oh, there they go. So I would do all this in my production model. I'm just prepping this up because what I'm saying is detail is so important. So base, can I make my base like, because it's doing level 1. Oh, I see what I could do. And then I could do negative 50 feet. There we go. Did it get him? Yeah, it got him. And then I'm going to go here. Bam, bam. Okay. And then I am going to go into edit. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to move them down. Okay, gotcha. See, I was going to be the lazy brother, and the big brother has to listen to the little brother sometimes. All right, so anyway, obviously I would do cross bracing, and I would, make it a much more sophisticated structure. But just for time being, so it's a little believable. The reason why I did that is because if you guys notice that the grass is not meant to go vertically up a wall, so that's what was giving it a glitch. So I'm going to go back to my view, and that's looking good. The only thing I'm a little suspect on is my lighting. Bring it this way a little bit. Unless I want to bring it this way. Okay. Bam. Cool. All right, and go to my view. And now that I have that all set and ready, go to my view, go to render, and I'm going to render just a draft. For time's sake, I'm just going to show you the draft view, and then I'm going to do a region of just a smaller spot and show you guys how it could look if it's much more in depth. Okay, so now you can see the power of this draft setting. Did you notice that I fixed all the things I wanted to do? But again, I noticed that I don't like this finish. Why isn't this over here, etc. Okay, this is starting to look good. So all I do, go to my first floor or my site plan. Okay, and then I'm going to go here to modify. Bam. Now we're talking, now we're cooking. And that's essentially it for my view. Now that I have I did all of those reiterations of just those tests, then what I would do as a secondary, like preliminary measure to do my final rendering, the final rendering before you press render and you leave for 8 hours, I would do change your printer settings here, and you 300 DPI. I would never do 600 DPI because most printers can't even print that high, and the naked eye won't be able to see the difference past like 350. Let's see. We got our sun only. I could put, if I wanted to, I could put very cloudy, and the clouds would come on the top and stuff like that. I typically like using Photoshop to putting in my skies because they're much better quality. So I'll do that, and I'm going to go ahead and do region. select my little region here. Okay. And then I'm going to bump it up to like medium, and I'll show you the last rendering, right? Okay. And I'm just going to press render. And so please let me advise that out of this whole exercise, that I used the draft tool as a tool for me to do a preliminary rendering so that I could actually do the final rendering. And I did it 3 or 4 times. I just didn't do it once. And so I made sure that all my materials are what I wanted it to be, my views where I wanted it to be, my sun's where I want it to be, and if there were any modeling errors or anything weird that was missing, you could see the banister, all the different materials. That's going to look really nice there. So I'm going to take off the region, and I could press render, and if it takes like more than a minute, I could just stop it. So I'm going to conclude this for the exterior renderings. I would personally not render the trees in Revit. I would put the trees in Photoshop. They come out cleaner. Your rendering takes much less time, and that's just kind of the bottom line. That's what I would recommend. Same thing with people. But the way that Roke did it was really commendable because he did it nice, clean, and easy. And that's kind of the balance that you have to do. It's like your time versus how amazing, perfectly you want it to be. So you can kind of see how it's shaping up. I think it's going to take I guess I can wait. So what I'm going to do next in the next segment is I'm going to focus on interior view and show you guys how to do interior lighting and adjust your exposure control to that lighting, so that you could know what families have lights in them and what don't, and how you can change them, and the importance of your exposure control. This is taking too long, but you can tell that the draft setting was 30 seconds, and this is not even done, and it's already been 1 minute and 30 seconds. But you can start to see that it's gonna come out nice and clean. But right now it's just not worth the time to wait for it. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm just going to save this video out real fast.